Your vibration isn't something passive that just happens to you, it's an active instruction you're constantly transmitting to the fabric of reality itself. Think about this for a moment. What if absolutely everything you've always believed to be concrete, unchangeable, and separate from you was actually flexible, vibrational, and being continuously shaped by your internal state? This isn't just some abstract spiritual idea we're throwing around here. This is a genuine revelation that's emerging from cutting edge quantum physics research, and it's turning our entire understanding of reality on its head. The material world that you perceive with your five senses isn't actually constructed from solid matter the way you've been taught to believe. It's fundamentally energy vibrating at an incredible variety of different frequencies, creating the illusion of solidity. What we've been calling reality for our entire lives isn't some fixed, unchangeable thing that we're just passively observing from the outside. It's actually a living, breathing, responsive mirror that's continually adjusting itself and responding to who we are being in each moment, reflecting back to us the essence of our internal state. The atoms that form your physical body, that create your immediate surroundings, that make up your home, and that even encode your memories, none of these are truly solid in the way you might think. When you look at them under powerful enough microscopes, scientists have discovered they're more than 99% empty space. And within that vast emptiness exists something profound: frequency, wave patterns, vibration, and pure infinite possibility waiting to take form. The instant you observe something, believe in a particular outcome, and emotionally embody that outcome in your nervous system, that infinite field of potential literally collapses into a specific physical form. This is what quantum physicists call wave function collapse, and it's happening constantly, every single moment of your existence. Yet most of us have been deeply conditioned throughout our entire lives to do exactly the opposite of what actually creates change. We've been taught to wait patiently for external reality to transform first, so that we can finally give ourselves permission to feel differently inside. We wait for that outer shift to occur before we allow ourselves to genuinely feel safe in the world, to feel abundant and prosperous, or to feel truly loved and worthy. This right here is the fundamental trap of three-dimensional consciousness that keeps so many people stuck in cycles of lack and limitation. We've been programmed since childhood to believe that the external world exists completely separate from our internal experience, that life is something that happens to us rather than through us. We've been taught we're victims of circumstance, powerless observers of a reality that unfolds according to random chance or fate. But the quantum truth, the actual scientific reality that's being proven in laboratories around the world, is far more empowering and liberating than anything we were taught. Life doesn't happen to you as some external force acting upon you. Life happens through you, shaped by your consciousness, your vibration, and your state of being. You're not simply living out some predetermined script that was written before you were born, powerlessly acting out a role that was assigned to you. You are actually the frequency transmitter that's actively writing that script with every single thought you think, every feeling you allow yourself to experience, and every expectation you consciously or unconsciously hold in your energy field. Max Planck, who is widely considered the father of quantum theory and whose groundbreaking work revolutionized physics, once made a profound statement that most people completely overlook. He said, "All matter originates and exists only by virtue of a force. We must assume behind this force the existence of a conscious and intelligent mind." Let that sink in for a moment. One of the most respected physicists in history is essentially saying that consciousness and intelligence are woven into the very fabric of existence itself. That force he's talking about, that conscious and intelligent mind, isn't located somewhere far away in some distant heaven or abstract dimension. It's woven directly into the fabric of your being. It lives within you, operates through you, and expresses itself as you in every moment. You're not just a passive observer standing on the sidelines watching life unfold. You are an active transmitter, constantly shaping and molding the quantum field with every breath you take, every emotion you experience. Every single emotion you hold in your body carries a specific measurable frequency that radiates outward into the field. Every belief you nurture and reinforce in your mind sends out a clear signal into the universe. And here's what changes everything. The quantum field, this vast, invisible, intelligent ocean of vibrating potential that surrounds and interpenetrates everything, doesn't respond to what you consciously say you want with your words. Instead, it precisely reflects back whatever you're vibrating as your deepest truth in your energy field. If you're holding fear in your nervous system while simultaneously visualizing, the universe doesn't judge your vibration as good or bad, and it doesn't filter or interpret what you're broadcasting. It simply reflects instantly, neutrally, and with absolute precision whatever frequency you're consistently transmitting. And this is the exact point where real transformation becomes possible, where you step out of victimhood and into creative authority. We didn't come here to beg the universe for better outcomes like powerless children asking for gifts. We came here to remember that we are the living frequency that naturally births those outcomes through our state of being. You've almost certainly experienced this dynamic already in your own life, probably many times, even if you didn't consciously notice what was happening. Think back to those times when absolutely everything seemed to fall into place effortlessly, when synchronicities multiplied, when the right people appeared at the right time, when opportunities opened up seemingly out of nowhere. And then recall those other times when nothing seemed to work, no matter how intensely you pushed or how hard you tried, when you felt like you were swimming upstream against an impossible current. The difference between those two types of experiences was never actually in the amount of effort you were exerting or the strategies you were implementing. The difference was always, 100% of the time, in your underlying state of being, the frequency you were broadcasting from your energy field into the quantum realm. The truth we're exploring here is simultaneously unsettling and deeply freeing once you really let it penetrate your awareness. Your current reality, everything you're experiencing right now in your life, is not random coincidence or bad luck or good fortune. It is a perfect vibrational match to the energetic frequency you've been consistently broadcasting into the field, whether you consciously realized you were doing it or not. And here's the most revolutionary, life-changing truth of all. You have the power to change your reality, not by resisting what currently is, not by fighting against your circumstances, but by fundamentally shifting what you're broadcasting from within. So I want you to pause right here for just a moment and honestly ask yourself this crucial question. What am I truly transmitting right now? Not what you're saying out loud to other people, not what you're hoping might happen someday in the future, but what you are genuinely feeling as true in this present moment. What emotions are you returning to most consistently throughout your day? What thoughts are playing on repeat in the background of your mind? Because it is that authentic frequency, that genuine energetic signature, that's actively writing the script of your reality moment by moment. In the comments right now, I want you to drop one word that captures the energy you're choosing to consciously carry forward from this point on. Maybe your word is alignment, maybe it's ease, maybe it's power, maybe it's trust, or maybe it's something uniquely yours that speaks to your soul. Let that single word be a small but profound declaration, a clear signal you're sending out like a quantum seed you're planting, not just in this comment section but directly into the quantum field itself. Your word matters because you matter, and the universe is listening to every signal you send. When you genuinely shift your internal state, your external reality has absolutely no choice but to reorganize itself and follow that shift. This is how the quantum field operates. It's not random, it's responsive. Quantum manifestation isn't some kind of supernatural magic trick or wishful thinking. It's alignment, it's coherence, it's becoming the living signal of what you desire before it physically appears in your three-dimensional reality. And here's the beautiful paradox that reveals you've truly mastered this principle. When you authentically become that signal at the deepest level of your being, you actually no longer desperately crave the external thing you thought you wanted. You're already vibrating in the lived experience of having it, and life responds by naturally reflecting that frequency back to you with grace and ease rather than struggle and striving. This is the actual foundation of creation itself, the way reality has always worked, even though most people never discover it. It's not about force or pushing or making things happen through sheer willpower. It's about frequency, about matching your vibration to your desire. It's not about wanting something you don't have. It's about embodiment, about becoming the version of yourself who already has it. It's not about waiting for some future moment when conditions will finally be right. It's about being, and here's what lives at the absolute heart of this understanding. The field, this infinite intelligent space of possibility, is not testing you to see if you're worthy. It's not judging you for your past mistakes or failures. It's not punishing you for things you did wrong or things you failed to do. It is simply reflecting you, mirroring back your vibration every single time without exception or variation. When you truly learn to read that reflection with honesty and clarity, when you can look at your life circumstances as feedback rather than as random events happening to you, you finally begin to consciously shift the signal you're transmitting. And once you deeply understand what you're actually broadcasting energetically rather than just mentally, you finally gain the genuine power to intentionally shape what you receive back from the universe. Reality isn't paying attention to your carefully crafted words or your repeated affirmations. It isn't moved by what you say you want or by the goals you write down in your journal. It shifts in direct response to who you are being in this present moment, to the authentic vibration you're emanating. This is the fundamental nature of the quantum field's mirror, and this is precisely why so many well-intentioned people remain stuck in an endless, frustrating loop they're asking with their conscious minds while vibrating something completely different and contradictory in their bodies and nervous systems. Imagine for a moment that you're standing directly in front of a completely flawless, perfectly accurate mirror. When you smile at it, the reflection smiles back at you instantly. When you frown, the reflection frowns back. The mirror never lies to you, never deceives you, never filters or interprets what it's reflecting. It doesn't care at all what you intended to show it or what you wish it would reflect. It simply shows you exactly what is actually there in front of it. This is precisely, with absolute accuracy, how the quantum field functions in your life. The universe is not personal in its responses, it doesn't have preferences or favorites, but it is absolutely precise in its reflection. It does not reward people it likes or punish people it dislikes. It simply reflects coherence when you're aligned, or the lack of coherence when you're fragmented and contradictory. If your inner world is clouded and contaminated with doubt, guilt, fear, or scarcity consciousness, the outer world will inevitably mirror that back to you, not because the universe is trying to harm you or teach you a harsh lesson, but because it's attempting to awaken you to what you're actually broadcasting. It's functioning as a feedback loop, continuously giving you opportunities to become conscious of the signal you've been unconsciously sending out into the field moment after moment. This is the real underlying reason why manifestations often seem blocked or why the things you say you want don't appear in your life. The block is never truly external, it's not about the economy, other people, bad timing, or lack of opportunities. It's always an energetic misalignment within you. It's asking for love with your words, while simultaneously vibrating a deep fear of abandonment in your nervous system. It's visualizing wealth and abundance in your mind while still radiating feelings of unworthiness and not enoughness in your body. The gap between what you want and what you're experiencing is always the distance between the mental image you hold in your conscious mind and the actual signal your nervous system is authentically transmitting into the quantum field at a subconscious level. Modern science is now confirming and validating through rigorous research what the ancient mystics and spiritual teachers have always known and taught for thousands of years. The HeartMath Institute has conducted extensive studies showing that the human heart emits the most powerful electromagnetic field in your entire body. Your physical body and the energetic field that surrounds it extends outward into space, sometimes reaching up to 3 meters beyond your skin. This electromagnetic heart field is constantly communicating with your brain, with your entire physical body, and most importantly for our purposes, with the quantum field itself that surrounds all of reality. Dr. Joe Dispenza's groundbreaking research confirms and expands on this understanding. When your thoughts and your feelings achieve true coherence, when you're thinking elevated thoughts while simultaneously feeling the elevated emotions that match those thoughts, the quantum field responds to that coherence. Not sometimes when you get lucky, not occasionally when the stars align, but always without exception. But here's the challenging truth that many people struggle to accept. Coherence absolutely cannot be faked or manufactured through mental tricks. You cannot claim to feel abundant while your body is tense and anxious about money. You cannot affirm that you're worthy of love while your nervous system is braced for rejection. The field reads your authentic energetic signature, not the mask you wear for others or the story you tell yourself. That's precisely why emotional healing is actually vibrational work at its core. When you continue holding on to old pain, accumulated resentment, persistent doubt, or unresolved wounds from your past, your frequency becomes fragmented and incoherent, broadcasting mixed and contradictory signals. And fragmented, incoherent signals inevitably manifest fragmented and inconsistent results in your external reality. But here's the beautiful possibility. As you begin to systematically clear that static through cultivating presence, developing conscious awareness, and practicing realignment, your signal naturally sharpens and becomes more coherent. The reflection you see in the mirror of your life begins to shift in response. Life starts moving in a new direction, characterized by effortless flow rather than constant struggle and resistance. Let's make this deeply personal and specific to your actual life right now. What has been consistently showing up in your life lately? What patterns keep repeating over and over no matter what you do? Where do you feel genuinely stuck despite your best efforts to move forward? These recurring patterns aren't random coincidences or bad luck. They are mirrors, clear reflections of your internal state. And until you genuinely shift the underlying frequency that's generating them, they will absolutely continue to appear not as punishment from a cruel universe, but as curriculum, as teaching moments, guiding you into deeper awareness and understanding of yourself. The universe isn't ignoring your desires or your prayers. It's responding to you constantly, reflecting back your true vibration with absolute precision. The ancient mystics express this timeless principle as within, so without, your inner reality creates your outer reality. Quantum physics describes the same phenomenon using different language: entanglement, coherence, wave function collapse, observer effect. But regardless of the terminology used, they're all pointing to the exact same fundamental revelation. Your inner state directly generates and determines your outer world experience. So, I want you to pause again and ask yourself with complete honesty, what am I really emitting right now from my energy field? Not what you hope to feel someday when your circumstances improve, not what you're pretending to feel to impress others or maintain a positive appearance, but what you are consistently and authentically vibrating into the field throughout your day. What's the emotion you return to most often when you're alone? What's the underlying feeling tone that colors your experience? That consistent emotional state is your baseline frequency, and that frequency becomes your magnet, drawing corresponding experiences to you. It functions as your command to the universe, and the field listens and responds always without fail. You don't need to fix the mirror by manipulating your external circumstances. You don't need to fight against the reflection by forcing things to change through willpower. What you need to do is become the person who naturally radiates a new frequency from within, because this vast, intelligent, responsive field will always return to you what you authentically are, not what you wish you were or pretend to be. Merge into a unified understanding. Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches with great clarity that your thoughts generate the electrical charge in the quantum field around you, and your emotions, gene. If you felt even 1% more aligned after hearing this, hit subscribe and click the bell icon right next to it. Let's grow together in this understanding. If this video hits 1000 likes, I'll drop another part with secrets from ancient texts that will genuinely blow your mind and expand your understanding even further. In the next part, we're going to explore exactly how to shift that vibrational command, because once you truly realize at a deep level that your vibration is the creative instruction you're constantly giving to the universe, absolutely everything in your life transforms. Reality doesn't shift just because you want it to change or because you wish things were different. It shifts because you become the person who already lives the reality you desire. You don't need to beg the universe to listen to your requests or pay attention to your needs. The universe never stopped listening for even a single. The field doesn't interpret or analyze your words like a person would. It mirrors your state of being, your authentic vibration. And here's the most profound truth you need to understand. Your vibration isn't a reaction to life events or circumstances. It is the actual blueprint that creates those events and circumstances. Bob Proctor, one of the greatest teachers of manifestation principles, said it absolutely perfectly when he stated, You don't get what you want. You get what you are. Let that truth settle deeply into your awareness and sit with it for a moment, because in this very moment, right now, you are either consciously directing your reality through coherence and alignment, or you're unconsciously creating through confusion and contradiction. We are vibrational beings living in and interacting with a vibrational universe. This isn't just beautiful, poetic metaphor or feel-good spiritual language. This is the actual foundation of quantum physics, the scientific reality of how existence operates. Everything that exists around you possesses a specific frequency signature. Your thoughts are frequencies broadcasting at specific wavelengths. Your emotions are frequencies emanating from your energy field. Your physical body itself is a living, breathing symphony of countless vibrations operating at different frequencies simultaneously. And here's what determines your experience. The dominant frequency you consistently carry becomes the energetic mold through which your physical reality takes form and manifests. Think of the quantum field as a massive blank canvas filled with infinite potential, and your personal vibration as the brush you're using to paint on that canvas. Yet, most people unconsciously try to paint over the picture they don't like without first changing the underlying frequency that's creating that picture. They visualize abundance in their meditation practice while still radiating lack consciousness throughout their day. They affirm love and worthiness with words while vibrating unworthiness and fear of rejection in their bodies. The inevitable result is mixed signals being sent to the field, inconsistent and disappointing manifestations, and the same limiting cycles repeating again and again without resolution. This is the precise point where rigorous science and ancient spirituality rate the magnetic charge. When you combine these two elements together, thought and feeling, they create a specific electromagnetic signature that the quantum field receives and interprets as a command or instruction. When you fundamentally change that signal by changing your thoughts and emotions, the field has no choice but to reorganize itself in response to your new signal. And as Abraham Hicks explains it so clearly and simply, you are always, in every moment, offering a vibration to the universe. Even when you think you're doing nothing, even when you're just sitting quietly or going through mundane daily tasks, you're still actively creating your future through the vibration you're emanating. So, the crucial question becomes, how do you consciously shift this vibrational command you're sending out? The answer isn't found in hoping for change, it's not found in pleading with the universe, and it's definitely not found in reciting affirmations without genuinely feeling them in your body. The real shift happens when you embody a completely new frequency at the cellular level. When you begin thinking the thoughts your desired future self would naturally think. When you allow yourself to feel the feelings of that version of you who already has what you desire. When your daily choices and behaviors match the energy signature of that wished for reality. When you achieve that level of alignment, the field simply cannot help but respond. It's bound by its own laws to reflect your vibration back to you. This isn't magical thinking or delusional positive psychology. This is resonance, a fundamental principle of physics. Just as one tuning fork will cause another tuning fork to begin vibrating when they share the same frequency, even if they are not physically touching, the universe mirrors back to you what you consistently broadcast into it. You don't chase your desires like they're external objects running away from you. You become an energetic match for them, and they naturally flow to you. And once that alignment becomes clear and consistent within you, manifestation becomes inevitable rather than hopeful. Here's the most essential truth you need to integrate. You are already creating your reality right now. Every single moment of your life, you are actively engaged in manifestation. Your vibration is speaking continuously through multiple channels. Through the words you whisper to yourself in quiet moments, through the energy you carry with you into every conversation and interaction, through the mental images you play repeatedly in your mind when no one else is looking and watching you. Most people wait passively for external life circumstances to shift so they can finally feel differently inside. But in the quantum model of reality, in the actual way the universe operates, you must feel different first. You think different first. You behave different first, acting as if the desired reality is already true. And only then, only after you've shifted internally, does external reality reorganize itself to match your new authentic state of being. Your vibration is the command the universe is listening for and responding to. The very moment you become truly aware of your vibration and what you're broadcasting, you reclaim your inherent creative authority and power. So let's make this absolutely real and practical for your life right now. Take a moment and notice your baseline frequency, the energy you're carrying most of the time. Is it characterized by tension, doubt, and constantly rushing from one thing to another? Or is it characterized by presence, trust, calm, confidence, and inner peace? Because one of these two frequencies is actively scripting the next chapter of your life right now, in this moment, writing the experiences you'll have tomorrow and next week and next month. Bob Proctor taught with great wisdom that the law of vibration is primary and fundamental, it comes first. The law of attraction that everyone talks about follows from the law of vibration. Until your thoughts and your feelings achieve genuine alignment and coherence, the outer world simply cannot reflect back the shift you're seeking. It's impossible because the mirror can only show what's actually there. And that's your invitation here, in this moment. Stop living reactively from unconscious patterns and start broadcasting intentionally with full awareness. Take a deep breath right now. Tune into your body and your energy. What are you vibrating in this very moment as you're reading or listening to these words? Because that is the command the universe is hearing and receiving right now. That is exactly what the quantum field is organizing itself around, arranging people and circumstances and opportunities to match that frequency. And here's the beautiful, empowering truth that changes everything. You can shift it right now. You can choose again in this moment. You can completely rewrite the broadcast signal in a single moment of deep presence and conscious choice. The universe isn't waiting for you to achieve perfection before it responds. It isn't demanding that you get everything exactly right before it mirrors back what you want. It simply asks for coherence for your thoughts and feelings to match, for your inner state to align with your desires. And when your energy clears and becomes coherent, when that static interference dissolves, your manifestations naturally begin to take shape and form in the physical world around you. Tell me your biggest takeaway from what we've explored so far. Let's turn this into a genuine conversation rather than just a one-way monologue. Drop your insight in the comments below. I read every single one, and I'm genuinely curious what's landing for you. The quantum field does not respond to who you're trying to appear to be for others. It doesn't move according to your written plans, your stated goals, or even your repeated affirmations, unless those affirmations are genuinely coherent with your authentic inner state and not just words you're mechanically repeating. What the field actually listens to and responds to is who you are being in every breath, every thought, every silent moment, when absolutely no one is watching you and you're completely alone with yourself. That authentic you is your real broadcast into the field. That is your command. That is the truth that's actively shaping your physical reality moment by moment. We have been heavily conditioned by society and culture to focus almost exclusively on doing, on taking action, on making things happen, on pushing and striving. But in the quantum realm, in the way reality actually operates, being precedes doing, and being creates having. You don't manifest what you occasionally practice in the mirror when you're preparing to face the world. You manifest what you consistently rehearse in your vibration throughout every moment of your day. The quantum field is what physicists call non-local intelligence. It doesn't require physical space to operate, and it doesn't require time to elapse before responding. It does not judge you as good or bad, and it does not reward or punish based on your worthiness. In every single instant, it mirrors back the state of consciousness you are embodying right now. It functions simultaneously as both canvas and mirror, and you exist simultaneously as both the artist, creating the image, and the reflection being created. You are the painter and the painting at once. Neuroscience research and quantum physics experiments now confirm that when you repeat a specific thought pattern and charge that thought with genuine emotion, your brain physically begins to wire that new identity into your neural structure, making it your new reality. Joe Dispenza calls this process the rehearsal of the future, and it's incredibly powerful. When your conscious mind and your emotional heart align perfectly in thought, feeling, and present moment awareness, the quantum field receives a crystal clear signal without interference. That coherence, that alignment, is precisely what collapses infinite possibility into specific physical form. Here's the hidden key that many people completely overlook in their manifestation practice. The field does not wait for your outer world to change first before it responds to you. It doesn't sit back and watch to see if your circumstances improve. It tunes directly to your current identity, to who you're being right now. The life you are living in this present moment is not an accident or random chance. It is the perfect reflection of the energy you have consistently been emanating and being over time. If you hold doubt as your baseline state, the field reflects back uncertainty in your circumstances. If you carry fear as your dominant emotion, the field reflects resistance and obstacles. But here's the hope. If you create coherence even briefly, even for a few moments, the quantum field immediately begins to shift in response. You do not need to be perfect or flawless. You only need to become aware of who you are being in the quiet moments between your actions, in the spaces between your words. Because here's the truth, the field doesn't actually care what you do with your actions. It listens exclusively to your frequency, to the vibration you're emitting. Bob Proctor once said something profound. Your results mirror your level of awareness. That awareness he's talking about isn't just mental understanding or intellectual knowledge, it's vibrational awareness. It's how much of your divine nature, your true essence, you allow to flow through you without fear, without hesitation, without resistance. So I want you to ask yourself with complete honesty right now, am I being the version of myself who already lives the life I deeply desire? That question isn't rhetorical or just food for thought. It's energetic, it has power. When you sit with that question, not just thinking about it intellectually, but really feeling into it with your whole being, you begin to sense and perceive where you are genuinely aligned with your desires and where you're not, where there's coherence and where there's contradiction. Let's talk honestly about self-sabotage for a moment, because it's far more subtle than most people realize. It rarely looks obviously chaotic or destructive on the surface. More often, it reveals itself quietly as hesitation, as those subtle internal doubts that whisper in the background, as that persistent feeling of "I'm not quite ready yet" that keeps you waiting and postponing. But the quantum field doesn't interpret these patterns in words or concepts, it hears them as vibration, as frequency, and it responds accordingly, bringing you experiences that match that not ready frequency. Greg Braden speaks extensively about a living, responsive field that intelligently organizes itself around the true signals of human emotion and consciousness. Not just the surface emotions you show to others, but the deeper ones underneath the quiet beliefs you carry, the inherited programs running in your subconscious, the subtle energetic scars of old traumas. All of these radiate frequency constantly, and the field responds to that transmission with mathematical precision. But here is the genuinely liberating truth that can change everything. Just as you created your current reality through unconscious vibration and habitual patterns, you can recreate it completely through conscious embodiment and intentional frequency. This is precisely why presence matters so much. Presence is not passive inaction. See yourself as a tuning fork resonating at a specific frequency. If you vibrate at the frequency of fear, the field echoes that fear back to you through the experiences you have and the people you attract who reinforce that fear. If you vibrate at love, peace, and genuine worthiness, the field reflects that frequency back too, effortlessly. Suddenly, conversations shift in unexpected ways. New opportunities appear seemingly out of nowhere. People show up in your life who mirror your new elevated frequency. Why does this happen? Because the field knows exactly who you're being at every moment. You cannot fool it with pretense. You cannot perform your way into manifestation by faking it. You can only embody the frequency you desire, making it authentically real within you. And that is the invitation of this present moment. To stop waiting for external permission or perfect conditions and start being the version of yourself you wish to become. Not because it's a strategy or an act you're putting on, but because it's finally becoming genuinely real within you at the deepest level. Take a deep breath right now. Place one hand on your heart center. Ask yourself sincerely, what energy am I rehearsing and reinforcing right now in this moment? Because the quantum field isn't hearing your spoken voice or your stated intentions. It's attuning precisely to your vibration, to the electromagnetic signature you're broadcasting. And every single moment, without pause or delay, it mirrors that vibration back to you in the circumstances and experiences of your life. There comes a point on the spiritual path where you begin to realize that visualizing alone is not enough to create change. Affirmations by themselves are not enough. Even wanting something deeply with your whole heart is not enough, because the quantum field doesn't respond to longing or desire or wishful thinking. It responds to embodiment, to you actually being the frequency of what you want. This is where the real shift happens, where everything changes, when you stop waiting for your desire to arrive and you start becoming it now. Here is where quantum manifestation meets genuine spiritual practice in the most profound way. It isn't about acting in some superficial sense, putting on a mask or playing a role. It's about attuning your inner signature, your deepest vibration, to match the you who already lives that desired reality fully, not someday in the future, but now, in this present moment. Let's make it beautifully simple. The practice has three elements. Align, this is the frequency work, the fundamental choice to shift from seeking to transmitting. When you genuinely align, you stop looking outside yourself, desperately searching for the dream to arrive. Instead, you begin creating spacious room inside yourself for that dream to land and take root. It begins with stillness, with cultivating deep self-awareness, with intentionally tuning your thoughts to the highest expression of your infinite potential. As Bob Proctor wisely said, you must see yourself already living with the good you desire. If you can hold it clearly in your mind, you can hold it in your hands, you can hold it in your lived experience. Alignment happens when your thoughts finally stop contradicting your feelings, when there's no more internal war, when your desires flow in natural harmony with your identity, when who you are matches what you want, when you stop merely imagining the dream during meditation and begin living it vibrationally throughout your entire day. Rehearse. Just as a professional athlete doesn't wait for the championship game to begin training their body and mind, the awakened soul doesn't wait for the breakthrough to occur before preparing energetically. Rehearsing the future, as Joe Dispenza teaches so powerfully, is about becoming emotionally familiar with the feeling of the wish fulfilled before it manifests physically. It means consciously choosing to flood your entire system with the emotions of already having what you desire, not because it has physically shown up yet, but because energetically, in the quantum field, it already exists right now in potential form. Neuroscience confirms something remarkable. The human brain cannot distinguish between an intensely imagined event and an actual lived experience. The same neural pathways light up either way. So, when you rehearse your desired future with emotional intensity and sensory detail, when you begin your day feeling abundant, confident, and clear before anything external has changed, your physical body actually starts to rewire itself at the cellular level. Your body chemistry shifts, your heart rhythms change and become coherent. Your electromagnetic field begins broadcasting the signature. This rehearsal is not passive daydreaming. It's active, embodied, and precise work. You walk through your day not from delusion or denial of current reality, but from declaration and embodied knowing. You stop asking anxiously, when will it finally come? And you begin saying with certainty, of course it's coming, I've already become it energetically. Become. This is the sacred threshold where transformation becomes permanent. Becoming means shedding the outdated self that no longer fits who you're evolving into. It means you stop negotiating with your fears, giving them power over your choices. You stop postponing your joy until conditions are perfect. You stop waiting for someone else's permission to rise into your power. When you truly become, you're not faking anything or pretending. You're remembering a truth that was always there. You are stepping into the energetic blueprint that was embedded in your quantum field before the doubts appeared, before the pain scarred you, before the limiting stories were written. You become the one who is already aligned, already resourced, already completely worthy. And that internal shift changes absolutely everything in your external experience. Remember always, the quantum field reflects who you are being right now, not what you occasionally wish for, not what you visualize once in a while when you remember to practice, but who you are in every breath, every choice, every moment of your existence. Becoming isn't just a temporary mindset shift, it is an energetic command that reorganizes reality itself. Neville Goddard expressed this principle perfectly when he taught, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, not because you're trying to trick the universe or manipulate reality through pretending, but because that feeling, that embodied emotional state, is the actual language of creation itself. Feeling is the frequency, and frequency is what shapes and molds the quantum field into physical form. Now I want you to pause right here, take a slow, deep breath, and really feel into this. See yourself clearly as the version of you who already has what you're seeking. How do they walk through the world? How do they speak to themselves and others? What do they naturally say yes to, and what do they instinctively refuse? What boundaries do they set without guilt or hesitation? What energy do they radiate when they enter a room? And here's the key that unlocks everything. Don't wait to become that version of yourself. Don't postpone it until conditions are right. Start embodying it now, in this very moment. Not by forcing yourself to change through willpower and discipline alone, but by allowing the deeper truth that already lives within you to rise up and express itself. You already are that elevated version of yourself at the deepest level. You're not waiting for some quantum shift to happen to you from outside. You are the shift itself. Let this moment right now be your initiation into a new way of being. Let the practice be both beautifully simple and radically transformative at the same time. Align your thoughts and feelings. Rehearse the future you desire with emotional intensity. Become the person who already lives that reality. Drop fully into your physical body. Close your eyes if you can. Feel the reality that is already waiting for you in the quantum field. Not out there somewhere in the distant future, but right here within you in this present moment, ready to collapse into form. And if this message has touched something deep inside you, if something within your consciousness has stirred awake, I invite you to declare it now, either silently to yourself or out loud or in the comments below. I am the shift. Speak it, feel it, know it, because the quantum field is always listening with perfect attention. And the next chapter of your reality is already responding and reorganizing itself around the vibration of who you choose to be in this moment. In this exact moment, there exists a frequency within you, quiet, eternal, completely unshakable, that doesn't wish for change or hope for transformation. It is the change itself, embodied and alive. This is a frequency that doesn't operate from hope or striving or effort, but from deep remembrance of who you truly are. This is the vibration that creates what others call miracles, what most people think of as impossible. Not because the fundamental laws of reality are somehow broken or suspended, but because they are finally, clearly understood and worked with consciously. This frequency isn't loud or dramatic. It isn't showy or attention-seeking. It doesn't roar through endless, desperate affirmations or try to force the world to shift through manipulation. Instead, it hums quietly in coherence. It breathes naturally through stillness. It moves gracefully in surrender to what is. Most people never find this frequency in their entire lives. Not because it's hidden in some secret location or requires special access, but because they keep searching frantically outside themselves for what has always lived within them, waiting patiently to be remembered. The truth is elegantly simple once you see it. Manifestation is not something you make happen through effort and force. It is something you allow to happen through alignment and receptivity. And this frequency, this inner resonance we're talking about, is awakened not through struggle or striving, but through simply being present, being authentic, being yourself. The quantum field doesn't respond to force or pushing or desperation. It responds to alignment, to coherence, to harmony. And when you drop into this frequency, when you finally find it within yourself, something shifts immediately. Your nervous system softens and relaxes. Your breath naturally deepens and slows. Your thoughts lose their frantic urgency and mental chatter. You stop trying constantly to prove your worth to the universe because you suddenly remember a profound truth. You are not separate from the universe. You are the universe expressing itself in physical form. You are not waiting anxiously for the future to arrive. You are channeling it, drawing it into the present moment through your state of being. This is what mystics and enlightened teachers have been whispering for thousands of years across every culture and tradition. The field reflects your state of being with perfect precision. It's not fundamentally about what you do with your actions. It's about who you're doing it from. the consciousness you're operating from. Pause for a moment right now and truly ask yourself this transformative question. How would your entire life feel if you stopped chasing after things and started simply resonating at the frequency of what you desire? What would fundamentally shift in your experience if you stopped waiting to feel safe, worthy, or ready, and you simply chose to be those things right now? Now, right here, right now, this is where the real shift occurs. This is where the miraculous begins to unfold. Not through struggle, resistance, or effort, but through harmonic coherence between your inner and outer worlds. Studies conducted by organizations like the HeartMath Institute reveal something extraordinary. When the heart and mind find genuine emotional alignment, when gratitude, love, and presence become your steady baseline rather than occasional visitors, the body's electromagnetic field expands significantly. It becomes coherent rather than chaotic. It becomes powerfully magnetic, attracting matching frequencies. This isn't just wishful thinking or positive psychology platitudes. This is measurable, observable, scientific fact. And it affirms and validates what mystics have always known through direct experience. Your frequency actively shapes your future reality. When you let go of resistance to what is, when you step fully into the present moment, and when you live consistently from your highest state of coherence, life doesn't just gradually shift, it transforms completely, and sometimes suddenly. Why? Because you're no longer unconsciously living from old traumatic memories and conditioning. You're living from vision, from possibility, from your highest potential. Now, you're not pleading desperately with the quantum field to deliver something you lack. You're embodying the vibration that naturally, effortlessly draws it in without needing to beg or ask repeatedly. Neville Goddard expressed it with beautiful clarity. You are already that which you want to be, and your refusal to believe this is the only reason you do not see it. That truth clear, undeniable, humbling is the master key that unlocks everything. So, what exactly is this frequency that births miracles in your life? It's you when you finally stop hesitating and second-guessing yourself. It's you when you stop doubting your worth and your power. It's you when you stop bargaining with fear, trying to negotiate with it, and you simply remember who you truly are at your core. Yes, the universe functions as a mirror reflecting back your vibration, but it's also a conscious witness. It observes not your actions or your words, but your essence, your authentic being. It responds not to what you say you want, but to what you genuinely mean energetically, to what you truly believe is possible for you. And in this very moment, you possess the power to choose to mean something completely new. You can send out a frequency right now that declares clearly, I am the creator. Just breathe deeply and consciously, allow the quantum field to respond to your new vibration. Because when you authentically step into this frequency with your whole being, physical reality cannot help but shift in response. Not because of supernatural magic, but because of natural resonance, because of universal laws that govern how energy and matter interact. Drop a word in the comments that captures the energy you're consciously stepping into today. Maybe it's trust, flow, joy, ease, abundance, or something uniquely personal to you. Your word matters because you matter, and speaking it out loud anchors it into both your consciousness and the quantum field. If this message has touched something deep within you, if you felt a shift in your energy, I gently invite you to subscribe to this channel and share this message with someone in your life who genuinely needs to hear it today. And in the comments, I invite you to declare boldly, I am the shift because you truly are, and the quantum field already knows this truth about you, even if you're just beginning to remember it yourself. Make sure you share this video with your loved ones. Remember, you're not just clicking a share button, you're spreading a frequency of awakening and empowerment, and that positive energy you put out will create ripples that come back to help you manifest everything you commented about wanting to create in your life. And here's something exciting I want you to know about. In the next video, we're going to dive deep into the hidden scientific principles that explain why some people manifest instantly while others struggle for years doing the same practices. We'll explore the missing piece that no one talks about, the quantum secret that ancient mystics encoded in their teachings, but that modern manifestation teachers often completely overlook. You won't want to miss this because it's going to completely transform how you approach conscious creation. Click through now to discover what you've been missing. And let's continue this journey of awakening together. Your quantum breakthrough is closer than you think.